Brooklyn Independent Television.
Now, speaking of renovations, in this tight economy, most of us are learning to do the best we can with what we have. The same logic already applies to a development at several massive armory buildings that have been transferred from federal oversight to state rule and finally to the city of New York. This week, Borough President Marty Markowitz sponsored an open house at an armory and a meeting where community members gave their ideas for making the buildings viable.
New York City is home to more than 70 armories, most of them imposing castle-like structures built to train and house local units of the New York State Volunteer Militia. Since the early 1900s, some of the buildings have fallen into disrepair, while others have become showplaces, like Manhattan's Lexington Avenue Armory, where the Victoria's Secret fashion show is staged. Away from the flashbulbs, two of Brooklyn's armories have still found their way into the spotlight. The armory on Bedford Street at Atlantic Avenue is a homeless men's intake center. Local residents mobilized against a plan to make the armory New York City's primary men's intake shelter, saying the neighborhood is already home to more homeless and transitional housing services than nearly any other community in the city.
I love them. I'm not saying that they should not be cared for or have a place to live, but they need a permanent place to live with supportive services. Can Bedford-Stuyvesant or Crown Heights provide the services with the infrastructure we have now to give them what they need?
On the other end of the spectrum, Park Slope's 8th Avenue Armory weathered decades of neglect until a $16 million renovation took it from this to this.
I want everyone to look around you at this beautiful new Park Slope Armory YMCA and think about how wonderful it would be for the residents and family and children of this neighborhood. I'm proud to have played a role in getting this done. And there is absolutely no reason that the residents of Central Brooklyn, which is home to two gorgeous, massive, and underutilized armories, should not have the very same amenities. As Borough President, I'll be allocating $1 million to each one to get the ball rolling, and I promise you I will not rest until the Bedford Atlantic Armory in Crown Heights and the Sumner Avenue Armory in Bedford-Stuyvesant look just like this.
Ted Frank is the senior construction manager at the city's Department of Construction and Design and was the lead on the project.
We had to maintain the landmarks status of the exterior of the building. And on the interior, we had to conform to building codes, fire and sprinkler. The building never had any sprinklers. We had to incorporate a sprinkler system into the building. If you look, that stepped pipe system, this floor is completely sprinkled. It has a smoke purge system. It's ADA compliant. It has an ADA elevator. These were all design elements that had to be addressed just to be compliant with local codes. So that was a major challenge right from the get-go, and still maintain the landmark status of the building. And it's also about 110-year-old building.
Now Crown Heights is getting ready for the treatment. That is, the Armory at Bedford and Union. Built in 1904, the Armory was home to Troop C, a cavalry based in Brooklyn that served in the Spanish-American War. Now their old stomping ground may be a new community hub. Retired U.S. Congressman Major Owens took advantage of an open house at the Armory and created a teachable moment.
Now teach a course at Medgar Evers on proposal writing, and my class wanted to write a proposal as to what to do with this, so we started as of last January trying to get more information about what was going on here, and have not been able to get information. We were able to sneak in here one day for about 20 minutes, and that was most of it. But I'm happy to see that Marty Markowitz is now taking the steps to help us open up the place and everybody can see it. And I hope that it's still an open situation as to what's going to happen to it.
Today is the start. It's not the end. It's just the beginning for Bedford Union Armory Revitalization Project. I want to make sure you know that nothing happens overnight. The Armory and Park Slope, that was over a decade in making happen. Let's hope it doesn't take anywhere that near anywhere that time. The good news is the Park Slope Armory was the first one that we did in Brooklyn, and so with the experience we have with that, we'll be able to expedite the process here in our neighborhood.
And so today we are here because the borough president said we want to hear from all of you. But our number one objective, what is driving this conversation, is to give it back to the community so that young people can engage and have a constructive place to go after school as opposed to being on our corners. No more violence in Crown Heights, no more violence in Bedford Stuyvesant, no more children hanging out with nothing to do because we've closed their bowling alleys. We closed all of the roller skating rink, right? Remember that rally? Bowling alley, roller skating ring. We closed the movie theater, their after center, their after school center. They have no place to go. And so now we have a responsibility so that these children, our children, can engage in constructive activities.
And there was no shortage of ideas for those.
There's archives that can be put in there that can teach our children. It's more than just having a place for them to go play. We want a place for them to learn and grow and prepare them for what they have to face.
I definitely would like to focus on is for our seniors in our neighborhood. We definitely need a place that, every block has their senior organization, but it's time to get all the seniors in this neighborhood together as one.
Gotham Girls Roller Derby is very excited about this blank canvas opportunity to create a flexible, spectator-friendly, intimate amateur sport venue where New York's athletes can really bring something special and world-class to this neighborhood.
Urban Planning Master students from NYU's Wagner School of Public Service will compile the ideas and have a report by the spring. With Borough President Markowitz and Councilmember James having already secured $14 million for the Armory at Bedford and Atlantic, and initiating the conversion of the Sumner Avenue Armory in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn's militia history is poised to march right into the future. For Brooklyn Review, I'm Brian Vines.
Become a fan on Facebook, like Brooklyn Independent Television.